Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Nyowo Scott. I am an HR leader and a career coach. This video's topic is about selecting your best fit major. Selecting the career that you will see yourself in for the rest of your life, where it will bring you fulfillment, happiness, and all of the above. Everything you imagine that is happiness to you, right? When you go to when you think about it, right? What do you imagine? What do you think about? What is happiness to you? When you become an adult and you're living out your life, you have your family or whatever else you're thinking of doing for the rest of your life, what do you think about? What do you want to be? What are you going to do? That decision that you make to select your best fit major should fit all of those things. Reach deep, dig deep, your core self, your core value, go deep. Who are you? What brings you happiness? What brings you fulfillment? Think about that, because that will be important when you are making that decision and you're living out the rest of your life, right? There are so many majors. I'm going to speak for myself. I'm from a West African, I'm a West African native, and that's Monrovia, Liberia. I'm from the West African country of Liberia. That's where I was born. Growing up, and that's for most West African families, your parents, your family they already say, hey, when you're growing up, you'll either be a doctor, a lawyer, or, one of those high level things, doctor or lawyer, and that's it. Maybe engineer, we'll deal with that. But anything else, they would see you as a failure, right? At least that's how we felt growing up. And for me, I was fortunate to see both my parents excelling in their career. My father was a high-level finance person, a professional, and my mother was a high-level, successful legal counselor. She was a lawyer, had a practice that is well-known throughout the region and so forth. So as a young kid growing up, for that point in my life, I said, well, I don't really have to think about this anymore. I see two people, I see two career paths that I know. I see the formula, I have the blueprint, and I know what is successful. So the most challenging thing for me at the time when I was ready to make that decision, I thought as a little kid, the hardest thing would be, do I do what my mother's doing? Do I go that path, or do I go the path of my father, right? So that was it. Well, I can tell you this, people. I can tell you this. I relocated to the United States of America. I was in college. I hit my rock bottom. This is me, my life. I'm trying to make something of myself. I hit rock bottom. Shameless plug. Go check out my book, Where There's Chaos, There Are Opportunities. I discussed that time. I described that rock bottom moment and where that switch flipped for me, where I said to myself, what do I really want to do? Am I living my life to please others? Am I living my life to, try to live up to the expectations of my family, my parents, my mother, my people who said to me, you're going to carry the family's legacy? Am I living the core values of who I am, how I see myself, and how I wanted my future to be? So at my rock bottom, when I couldn't get help from nowhere else, and I had to make that decision moving forward, what do I do for myself? Where do I want to go, and what do I want to be? I chose to be a business executive. I chose business because I've always wanted to be a business executive. When I sat to myself at that time, I had to look deep and said, this has always been in me. I've always been that person. I'll give you an example. When I was growing up, we were all into the technology, and my mother at the time in West Africa had an opportunity to travel to the United States for whatever conference of meeting she said she was coming for. I said to her, Mom, please get me a Game Boy. She bought me a Game Boy. But one thing she came back and she said to me, which really started that spark in me, and I realized this is something that I enjoy, is she brought me the Game Boy. She said, here is the Game Boy. But Nyowo, I want to tell you something. This thing, it requires 4 batteries to run. I'm not going to be buying you batteries every 2 days because you're playing this thing and you're running it out. You have to figure out how you can earn some money from somewhere, however you choose, but you are going to start buying your own batteries to play the Game Boy and everything. And as a young child, I was like, cool, let's go. I'm up for the challenge, right? So what I did was I took my Game Boy to school. During lunchtime, recess is what we call it. I would charge my friends $5 to play one game one time. Like it has like 3 lives, and if it all goes away, then your game is done. And give me my $5, give me my Game Boy, who's next? I did that for so long. And the joy, the fulfillment that I had in it, that I had created something that all of my peers, they wanted. I used to go to the back of the school. Shout out to JJ Roberts, JJ Rawa. That's what we call it in West Africa. It's a popular school that I attended. The back of the school. That's where I used to be, and that's where I was stationed. I had a friend that I would pay like $10 per lunchtime to be on the lookout, so I don't have a teacher that comes over and interrupt our gaming section, and they take away your stuff. They would take it until the end of the school year. So I had someone on the lookout. In case you saw a teacher coming, just alert me. I'll put my Game Boy away and we'll act like, we're just out here playing soccer, right? So I had someone working for me on that, right? I had another guy who was more like the big bully that I say, you know what? Once the older students come around, they won't just take away my Game Boy, because so that was my bodyguard, right? I paid him $10 as well. I was making a significant amount of money that I was even able to save some money. And when my mother again was making another trip to the United States, I had enough money to say, Mom, I want another Game Boy. And I also want that connection that people can play. 2 players can, with each separate Game Boy, can play each other, and this way I was thinking, how can I 2x my profits, right? At that young age, I'm telling you, in middle school. So I gave my mom, and she was so impressed, because how did you do this? And I explained that to her. She shook her head and she said, my son is going to be a business executive soon. She told my father, and he just shook his head. He said, no, that's my, it's the financial background in my son. He is going to be, anyhow, they bragged about it. But I just want to kind of give that little story. When I looked back at my younger days, I realized it was there all along. I've always enjoyed being a business person. And at that moment, at that time, I decided I would be a business executive. I will go and pursue business management, and I would take it further. At this point in my life right now, I tell you that I'm living to my fullest the career that I am in right now, as an HR leader, as a CHRO, as a CPO, chief people operator. All of those things, man, I really enjoy what I do. I feel fulfilled, right? As the business executive. And I said it in the book. Please go and check out my book. So when we come back to you, right? Thinking of what you want to do for your future, for the rest of your life, your career. I tell people all the time, some people say, well, what do you want to do till you retire? Why would I want to retire? I am living out the best of my every day when I go into work. When I walk in the door, how I'm greeted, how people respect me, right? How my schedule, there are meetings, right? Where I have my assistant to say to me, Mr. Scott, you have these meetings that are coming up. Is there anything that I need to do for you, to be ready for your meeting? Can you imagine a little African kid from Africa growing up to where I am now? Like, I'm living out my dream. I don't see myself retiring from it. I don't. Like, what is retirement? Me not doing something that brings me fulfillment? I won't retire. I can promise you that. Maybe what I would do is maybe I might, resign from my role and take something else with better opportunity. Maybe I'll open my own business. I will not retire from doing something that brings me fulfillment. So that's what I want to say to you. And as I look back at where I am right now in my career, and I have so much more to go, right? I'm still in my career. I'm still at the younger stage in my career. I'm so grateful to younger Nyowo, right? To my younger Nyowo, when Nyowo was at that place, at that rock bottom, and I decided this is the path that I was going to pursue. I thank myself for it. So now that you are sitting where I sat at that time, and you are thinking to yourself, what do I do? What do I want to be? What is my career? What is my life? And how do I see it? That's what you should think about. Look deep. Do research, right? I'm a business management major, right? But within that field, business management, there are different levels and titles. I'm an HR leader, right? But there are, CEOs, CFOs, COOs, and you name it. Business executive. That's what I am. So there's so many different layers and levels to it. Research it. Look at the salary ranges, right? Look at all of these things and make that decision to what is best for you, that will bring you fulfillment. That during the challenging times, I know there were some courses that I took in college. I used to say to myself, why is this thing so difficult? But I was so motivated, I had to learn it because this was going to take me to where I wanted to go. And that means I was going to live out the life that I wanted. I was going to pursue the career that I wanted, and I must conquer that. To be considered an expert in that industry, I needed to learn it, right? So I want to say this to you. Make that decision for what is best for you, like you. When you look at yourself years from now, you should look back and say and thank yourself where you are right now. This decision you make right now will thank your future self, right? You're making this so you better your future self. So when you look back on your life and you said, I'm so happy I made this decision. If you check out my book, that rock bottom time, the time that I said today, moving forward, I will make every ounce of my energy. I'll take every ounce of my energy and make a step forward into the direction to pursue the career that will bring me all the fulfillment that I want, that I needed in my life and wanted. And because of that, my life, I'm so happy how it's turned out. I'm a business person. I'm a business executive. I'm a business leader. Right? We're in the rooms with high-level people, well-respected, and I'm one of those respected individuals. We're making decisions that will affect the lives of many, hundreds of people. They look up to us, right? I have my own responsibility. Another business executive or leader has his own responsibility, and that's what it brings me so much fulfillment. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, this video should not just be about me, but I just want to kind of be that. Maybe I'm your digital mentor, right? To tell you, you at this place in your life, the decision you make, this is something that you will thank yourself for many, many years to come. Okay? Research it. What is it? What are the topic? What is it that you want to do? And then, because when you're in college, for some of you that are in college, that are in your freshman and you're a sophomore, and you're thinking about it, what do I want to do? And what do I see myself, right? Am I going on the correct path? Well, think about that. Look deep, because when you make this decision, this is something that is supposed to be fulfilling and rewarding for the rest of your life. Thank you for coming to the channel, guys. Look, I could talk, I know, but these are things that are so passionate to me. I'm so passionate about. And most of the videos that you will see on this channel is about that. I want to be, again, I said it, right? I want to be your digital mentor. So check out the other videos. Please like, subscribe, comment, right? Is there anything that I've said that resonate with you, right? That you are thinking about? Do you have a parent that says, this is what you're going to be, and you have no choice of the matter, this is what you're going to do? And sometimes you can think, and it weighs on your shoulders, and you say, but I wanted to do something else, Mom or Dad. Like anything about what I've just said. If it resonates with you, please like, subscribe, comment, and let's have a conversation. If you have an idea of a topic that you would like me to touch on and something that you've been thinking about and dealing with, just let me know. I will put the video out. This is our channel. Thanks for stopping by. Check out the audiobooks that I have. There's so many more. I'm an author. I'm a public speaker. I am a HR leader, and I'm a career coach. Just all in one. I'm living my best life. And I'm so glad to be able to have this conversation with you. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for leaving a comment. Thank you. Take care, guys.